You've waited long enough. You've cried in silence, loved in sacrifice, and endured with grace. And now, I say to you, congratulations. Your waiting period is over. This is not a coincidence. This is confirmation. If this message found you today, it's because I sent it. I guided your heart here. I stirred your spirit to press play. Because what I have to say to you cannot wait any longer. For years, you've walked through seasons that didn't make sense. You've smiled in public but wrestled with doubt in private. You gave when you had little. You stayed when you wanted to walk away. You believed even when your faith was tested to the core. And I saw it all. I collected every tear. I counted every sleepless night. I listened to every whispered prayer when your voice was too weak to shout. You never knew that what felt like a wilderness was actually a preparation ground. You weren't abandoned. You were being refined. You weren't forgotten. You were being positioned. Drop this in the comments to declare your moment. My waiting period is over. I am ready for the promise. Today I want to walk with you through the reason for the delay. Because my child, I don't delay without purpose. I never waste pain. I never allow stillness unless it's sacred. You've been asking me when. You've been wondering why hasn't it happened yet? And I want you to know, I've never turned my face away from you. There were days when you were close to giving up, but something inside you, something I placed there, kept holding on. That was me. That was my strength in your weakness. That was my hand keeping you steady when your knees buckled beneath disappointment. And now I say it's time. Because when I say it's over, it means what was stuck has been set free. It means what you were waiting on is now waiting on you. It means the doors that were sealed are now being unlocked from the inside. It means the tide has shifted. It means the battle has turned in your favor. It means what was empty will be filled, what was broken will be restored, and what was delayed will come back multiplied. No more questioning your worth. No more comparing your journey to others. No more walking with your head down while I've already crowned you in heaven. This is the season where joy replaces sorrow. This is the moment where peace replaces panic. This is the time when you begin to see why I had you wait so long. You were not being punished, you were being preserved. I allowed them to leave you because they couldn't go where you're about to arrive. I allowed the silence because I wanted you to hear my voice above the noise. I allowed the setbacks because they were really setups in disguise. So now, I say again, congratulations. This isn't just another video. This is your heavenly announcement. This is the sound of divine release. This is the trumpet of your turning point. Walk with me through this message. Let it enter your bones. Let it awaken your soul. Because I am not only declaring your waiting season is over, I am commanding the next chapter to begin. And this time, it won't look like the last. This time, you won't be drained, you'll be renewed. You won't be begging, you'll be overflowing. You won't be surviving, you'll be living in the abundance I prepared. You've waited long enough. Now step forward. The reward has already begun. The hidden power of the waiting room. You thought nothing was happening while you waited. But child, I do my best work in silence. In the stillness, I was shaping you. In the quiet, I was strengthening you. While it seemed like nothing was changing on the outside, I was rearranging everything on the inside. You were not forgotten. You were being fortified. I slowed things down not to deny you, but to make sure you didn't walk into a blessing you weren't ready to carry. Because a promise given too early becomes a burden. And I love you too much to hand you what could break you. In your waiting season, I was building strength in your spirit, planting roots in your faith, and developing character in your heart. You couldn't see it, but your soul was expanding. You were growing in ways only eternity can measure. Your waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. I didn't delay you to frustrate you. I positioned you to protect what I planned for you. There were places I didn't allow you to enter, people I didn't allow you to keep, and decisions I didn't allow you to make because they would have cost you more than you knew. I hid you because I was protecting you from premature exposure. I knew the weight of your calling. I understood the magnitude of your purpose. So I had to guard your becoming because the world would not understand what I was forming in you. Just as Joseph waited in the prison before stepping into the palace, so did I ask you to trust me while doors remained closed. Not because you were unworthy, but because your time had not yet come. Joseph's dream was real, but the process had to refine him before the dream could stand. You too had to be positioned before the promotion could come. Every not yet was not a rejection, it was a redirection. It was a sacred pause filled with wisdom you didn't yet need, but soon would depend on. Every closed door was a shield in disguise. I turned down offers that looked good but weren't my best. I blocked opportunities that looked promising but would have poisoned your peace. I kept you from things that sparkled but weren't solid. Because when I bless you, it must last. I was not withholding from you, I was maturing you. You asked me for a breakthrough, but I needed to break you away from small thinking. You prayed for abundance, but I first had to teach you gratitude. You longed for love, but I had to heal the parts of you that would have settled for less than holy. I was pruning. I was stripping away what couldn't remain in your next season. So when I opened the floodgates, you wouldn't drown in the blessing. You would swim in it with wisdom. You would steward it with honor. You would carry it with humility and clarity. Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. And now, that strength has been renewed. Now that patience has been refined. Now that heart has been tested and found faithful. So now I say to you, go forth. Go into the new. Step into what I have already prepared. Walk into the doors that will now open without you knocking. Because I've gone before you. Your waiting room was not a prison, it was a preparation table. And now, it's time to rise from it and sit at the table I've set for you. I was working behind the scenes. You didn't see it. You couldn't feel it. But I was never absent. When you sat alone in the dark, wondering if your prayers had bounced off the ceiling, I was sitting right beside you, listening to every word, catching every tear. Every tear watered your future. Every moment of silence echoed throughout heaven. What felt like abandonment was actually divine activity. I was not ignoring you. I was building something bigger than you imagined. Quietly. I was speaking on your behalf in places you didn't even know existed. There were conversations about you in rooms you've never entered. There were decisions being made for your good before you ever saw a single result. You didn't realize it, but while you were waiting, I was preparing everything around you to match what I promised inside you. I redirected harm that was coming. I silenced the mouths that tried to curse you. I blocked the arrows that were launched in secret. I covered your name in grace when others tried to destroy it. I was stirring favor in the hearts of people who didn't even know your story. I was aligning schedules, opening opportunities, and sending helpers. You wondered why certain relationships ended. You questioned why some things just wouldn't work, no matter how hard you tried. But what you didn't know was that I was removing what could have poisoned your destiny. I know what you don't. I see what you can't. And because I love you, I took control in places where your understanding could not reach. Just because you couldn't trace me doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was behind the curtain, orchestrating divine appointments, arranging holy alignments, clearing paths you didn't know were blocked, and ensuring your heart would be ready when the time was right. You kept asking me, Lord, why is this taking so long? But the truth is, you were waiting on what I was working on. Some things needed more time, some pieces needed to fall into place, some doors needed to be repainted, because the version of you now would no longer fit through the ones you thought you wanted then. And most importantly, I was breaking generational blockages. Yes, the kind of curses that tried to stop your mother, the cycles that swallowed your father, the pain that ran through your bloodline like a shadow. I was cutting it off, because you were never meant to carry their chains. You were chosen to walk in a freedom they only dreamed of. I was working in dimensions beyond your view. I wasn't being silent. I was being strategic. I was building a foundation so strong that when the blessing arrives, it will not crumble under pressure. And now the wait is over. Now the light begins to shine where there was only fog. Now the path is clearing. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. You, my child, you've stayed faithful. You could have quit, you could have turned away, you could have stopped praying, stopped praising, stopped believing, but you didn't. Even with unanswered questions, you held on. Even when nothing made sense, you trusted me. Even when they left you, you still followed me. And now comes the good. Not just good as the world gives, but good that only I can give. The kind of good that restores years. The kind of good that rewrites stories. The kind of good that silences every lie the enemy told you while you waited. You didn't see me working, but soon you will see what I've finished. And when you do, you'll realize the waiting was worth every second. The birth of what you carried in silence. What you carried in secret is now ready to be born in public. That vision you tucked away so carefully, that promise you whispered in the dark when no one else could hear you cry, that dream that seemed too fragile to share, too holy to speak out loud. I never forgot it. Not for a moment. You thought I had overlooked it. You wondered if it would ever happen. But the truth is, I was growing it in the dark, where others couldn't see, where you couldn't be distracted, where it was safe from destruction and pride and noise. Just like a seed must break beneath the surface before it rises into the light, you too had to go through your breaking. You broke through loneliness. You pushed past frustration. You survived nights where the silence screamed louder than your prayers. And you stood in rooms where no one believed in what you carried. But I believed in it, because I placed it in you. You didn't give up when the process got heavy. You didn't abandon the dream when it took longer than expected. You didn't curse me when the doors stayed shut longer than you hoped. You endured. You protected what I gave you even when you didn't understand it. And now comes the birth. What was invisible is about to be undeniable. What you only felt in your heart will soon be seen with your eyes. The time of labor is over. The delivery is here. This is more than a breakthrough. This is a reveal. This is where I showcase to the world the miracle that has been forming in silence. You didn't need the applause. You didn't seek the spotlight. You stayed low, stayed humble, stayed hidden, and that's why I'm about to lift you. This blessing isn't just about favor, it's about fulfillment. It's about me saying to the world, look what I can do through the one who never let go. You didn't arrive at this moment because you were perfect. You arrived because even in your flaws, even in your weakness, you still chose me. You still prayed when you didn't feel strong. You still believed when doubt knocked louder than faith. You still hoped when hope didn't feel safe anymore. And I counted every act of faith as sacred. You may not even realize it, but every quiet yes you gave me during the waiting was building something unstoppable in the spirit. And now, you will see what I promised. You will hold it in your hands. You will walk in what was once just a vision in your heart. Your reward is not just a blessing. It is proof. It is evidence. It is the physical manifestation of your spiritual fight, the public evidence of your private endurance. This is your unveiling season. This is your let there be light moment. This is where what once seemed buried suddenly breaks through and stands tall. And the beauty of it all? You didn't force it. You didn't fake it. You didn't chase it. You birthed it with me. Now watch what happens, because every promise I've made will now begin to breathe, and the world will know that I, the Lord your God, honor those who carry in silence, but deliver in power. Divine timing is now. I don't operate in human clocks. I don't answer prayers according to deadlines created by fear. I move in divine timing, perfect, purposeful, and always right on time. And child, your time has finally arrived. This is why you felt an unexplainable stirring. This is why certain things are no longer comfortable, even if they once felt like home. This is why some people around you feel disconnected. This is why old habits have started to fall away. You're not losing yourself. You're stepping into your assignment. There's a spiritual shift happening in your life, and it's not random. It's me. It's the sign that the waiting season has done its work, and now the harvest must begin. You see, divine timing doesn't just bring opportunities. It brings clarity. It removes distractions. It adjusts your pace and aligns your heart. It pulls you away from what you thought you needed and prepares you for what I've actually appointed. This is why you can't go back. You may be tempted to revisit old places, but I've already moved you forward. That season is over. That version of you is complete. Do not try to return to what I've already ended. It will no longer hold your future. Do not mourn what I've removed. It wasn't rejection, it was protection. I had to clear space for the new. I had to remove what was draining you to make room for what would sustain you. I had to pull you out of comfort to stretch your spirit into destiny. This is not a time to question what didn't happen. It's a time to prepare for what's about to happen. Don't delay the joy I've already released into your life. Don't push away the blessing because of fear. You've waited, you've prayed, you've grown. Now, receive. The waiting was your preparation room, a sacred place where I poured into you in secret. But now, the curtains are opening. The light is shifting, the scene is changing. You are no longer in hiding, you are no longer behind the scenes, you are being called forward. Step into your season boldly. Walk like someone who knows they were chosen. Move like someone who has already been approved. Take off the garments of delay, the doubt, the shame, the hesitation. Lay them down, they no longer belong to you. Put on the robe of favor, not earned by your efforts, but given by my grace. It's tailored for you. It fits the shape of your obedience, and it carries the fragrance of your worship. You don't have to force this moment. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to show up in faith, because I've already prepared the place. To everything there is a season. And this, my child, is yours. This is your appointed time. This is your moment of release. This is your season of reward. It doesn't matter how long the wait was. It doesn't matter how silent it felt. What matters now is that the waiting is over, and the season you've been praying for is no longer coming. It's here. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is the day when everything changes. Favor you didn't work for, because you waited without bitterness, because you praised me in the pain, because you didn't trade your integrity for temporary relief. I am sending favor you didn't even ask for. This kind of favor doesn't follow human logic. It isn't tied to your resume, your bank account, or your background. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you belong to me. You've been faithful in the small. You stayed the course when it was quiet. You stayed in position when there was no applause. And now, heaven is responding. People will recommend you without knowing you. Hearts will be moved to support you without explanation. Your name will be spoken in rooms your feet haven't entered yet, because I've already gone before you. Doors will open without you having to knock. Not because you forced your way in, but because I've appointed this season as your entry point. This is not just favor, it's divine favor. Favor with oil on it. Favor with my fingerprint on every detail. Resources will appear without striving. Opportunities will align with precision. Things you've been praying about will start appearing in your hands. Not because of your striving, but because of my supply. You didn't manipulate your way in. You didn't take shortcuts. You didn't compromise when it got hard. You didn't use your pain to control outcomes. You trusted me. You didn't chase the blessing. You waited, and now the blessing will chase you. I told you that your gift would make room for you, but now I will cause that room to overflow. This is what I meant when I said, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Because what I give doesn't just fill a cup, it overflows into generations. You will no longer have to beg for what's already been written in your destiny. You won't have to convince people to see your worth. I have already stamped it. Your value is not up for debate. It's been sealed by heaven. This is divine compensation, not just for your wait, but for the warfare you endured in silence, for the nights you cried and no one knew, for the days you smiled while carrying invisible burdens, for the battles you won without a witness, for the heartbreaks you gave to me when you had no words left. You thought no one saw, but I did. I watched you surrender when surrender hurt. I watched you obey when obedience cost everything. I watched you stay humble when you could have chosen bitterness. Now I am rewarding you openly for what you did secretly. This favor isn't payment, it's my promise, and my promises don't expire. They don't return void. They don't rely on perfect circumstances. Because I've seen the sacrifice, I've seen the stretching, I've seen the unseen pain, and I've decided now is the time to reward you. So expect it. Not because you earned it, but because you were faithful when you had every reason to give up. You didn't just wait, you waited well. And because of that, favor is now your portion. New wine, new skins. What I'm giving you now cannot be handled with the same mindset. You cannot walk into this new season carrying the thoughts, habits, and expectations of the old one. Old wineskins can't carry new wine. They'll burst, they'll waste what was meant to bless. That's why, before I released the promise, I had to refine your posture. I had to shape your capacity. I had to stretch your understanding. Because what's coming isn't small. It's sacred. I must upgrade your thinking. No more shrinking yourself to fit into places I've called you out of. No more doubting what I've placed in you. No more fearing success because you've become too familiar with survival. I must upgrade your surroundings. That's why some people had to leave. Not because they were evil, but because they were assigned to your former level, not your future one. Some people couldn't carry your calling. Some relationships were seasonal, not eternal. So I removed them, not to hurt you, but to help you fly. That's why certain environments began to lose their appeal. The places that once felt right began to feel wrong. The rooms you used to fit into suddenly felt tight. That discomfort was divine. I was closing old chapters to make you crave what was next. Your spirit began to outgrow what your body stayed attached to. That tension? It was the sign you were transitioning. You were becoming someone new. And the version of you now is not compatible with who you used to be. I am calling you to higher ground. To places where the air is purer, where vision is clearer, where distractions are fewer. I am calling you out of the crowd and into clarity. But to carry what's coming, you must be ready, not just to receive it, but to steward it well. Prepare not only to celebrate, but to carry responsibility. Prepare not only to shout about the blessing, but to protect it, guard it, and grow in it. The opportunity coming is weighty. It's not light, it's not surface level, it's not just for show. This blessing comes with impact. It will reach others, it will overflow beyond your life. It's legacy, it's influence, it's spiritual, and it carries my name on it. That's why I had to build you in secret. That's why I had to train your heart before I trained your hands. Because anyone can receive, but not everyone can handle what is sacred. I trust you with it, not because of your perfection, but because of how you handled the silence. You didn't complain your way through it. You worshipped. You didn't manipulate the outcome. You waited. You didn't turn to shortcuts. You stayed surrendered. And now, I'm giving you the sound of answered prayers. The kind that only I could bring to life. The kind that makes sense in hindsight. The kind that causes tears of joy because of how long they were carried in faith. But this time, you'll walk in it with new wisdom, with new vision, with new grace. Because you are no longer who you used to be. You are ready, not just to be blessed, but to be a blessing. Not just to receive, but to release glory in the earth. You are my vessel, and I've shaped you for this. New wine is here, and now so are you. This is the congratulations from heaven. Today, I announce to your soul, congratulations. Not from man, not from the world, but from heaven itself. This is not an empty word. This is a divine seal. A holy declaration that your waiting was not wasted. This is the appointed time. This is the release. The tests you endured have reached their end. The silence you carried has turned into sound, and now the oil of favor is flowing over your life. Congratulations for holding on when you had every reason to let go. Congratulations for choosing me over convenience. Congratulations for trusting me when nothing made sense at all. You didn't fold under pressure. You didn't curse the delay. You remained faithful, and now I am remaining faithful to my word. Your reward will match the warfare you survived. Your peace will quiet every voice from your past, and your joy, your deep, unstoppable joy will erase the ache of yesterday. This is not a maybe. This is not a possibility. This is my word to you, and my word always comes to pass. Step into what I've already finished. Don't try to figure it all out. Don't stress over the how or the when. Just say yes. Yes to the promise I made. Yes to the peace I've prepared. Yes to the purpose I've placed in you. Step into what I've already finished. The work is done, the path is open, the blessing is waiting. Walk in what I've already secured. Not with fear, but with faith. Not with doubt, but with joy. Dance in the rain of answered prayers. Let it wash away the memories of delay. Let it water the dreams you held in silence. You've waited with hope, you've trusted through the test, you've endured with grace, and now receive with boldness. Because what I've promised, I'm now performing. Heavenly Father, thank you for seeing us in the silence and for rewarding us in your perfect time. I pray for the one listening right now. Let them feel the shift in their soul. Let their heart receive what you've spoken. Let every delay break. Let every chain fall. Let every blessing rise. Release them into their season of joy, peace, and overflow. Cover them with favor. Let congratulations echo in their life. In Jesus' name, amen.